You're obviously a very competitive person. You're competing with the likes of Jeff Bezos
Jeff who?
Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin lost a months-long legal battle today against NASA. Back in April, NASA awarded Elon Musk SpaceX with a $2.9 billion contract. The mission? Build spacecraft that would ferry astronauts to the moon. Blue Origin lost out on that contract and sued in August, saying NASA wrongly awarded the contract to only SpaceX. In its lawsuit, Blue Origin accused NASA of having disregarded key flight safety requirements. In a tweet today, Bezos seemed to suggest the company would not appeal the decision, saying it's not the decision we wanted, but we respect the court's judgment and wish full success for NASA and SpaceX on the contract. While SpaceX didn't respond to CNBC's request for comment, Elon Musk did reply to a CNBC reporter's tweet about the ruling, tweeting a photo from the 2012 movie Dread with the words, "You have been judged."
I think he should put more of his energy into getting to orbit than lawsuits. You cannot sue your way to the moon. Okay. You know how good your lawyers are.
Yeah. So why isn't he doing that?
I don't know.
I also like to make fun of his rocket. Y'all make fun of each other's rockets.
I think it does have, it could be a different shape, potentially.
Could you explain from a technological point of view why it's that shape?
Well, if you are only going to doing suborbital, then your rocket can be sort of shorter, yes.
So, have you called him and said, cut the shit, get bigger, or what?
I have encouraged him to emphasize getting to orbit, yes.
You talk to him?
Not verbally.
What is it, mind meld or
no,
what?
Just,
tweet at him.
Yeah,
tweet at him.
Exactly. Subtweet, if you will.
Subtweet. So, what subtweet? You do subtweet him. So,
Jeff Bezos is the real deal. I think Bezos is just in it for the long run. He's not out there on Twitter. He's not out there talking about himself. He's the speak softly and carry a big stick guy. To put several of the big companies in context. So Virgin Galactic is really focused on space tourism, these short suborbital flights. They also have Virgin Orbit that's going to have a rocket attached to a 747. It's going to be air launched and it'll put small satellites into orbit. So they're actually doing launch as well as tourism. Elon has really been focused on launch. His Falcon 9 rocket has completely changed the launch economy. In the last 2 years, Russia was dominated the launch market because the Soyuz was cheap. The Falcon 9 is cheaper. Jeff Bezos is the real deal. His company is legit. The BE-4 engine that he's making, I think, is going to be the most important rocket engine of the 21st century. Lots of rockets are going to be using it. Government rockets, rockets launching telecom satellites, and also people. He's doing things a little bit slower. He got started maybe 5 or 10 years after Elon did, so he doesn't have that head start. He's doing it all on his own. He's not working, most of his programs are not with NASA or with the government. He's just doing this on his own. I think he's got some spare change laying around the couch that he can fund this stuff with. And I think he's kind of the long, slow, in the long run, he's going to really make an impact on getting to the moon, getting people in space, and really impacting the 21st century space economy.
Here we go, everybody. Thousands of people contributed years to this historic moment. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Blue Origin's first human flight. Godspeed, first crew of New Shepard. Let's light this candle.
4, command engine start. 2, 1. Ignition. We have liftoff. Shepard's cleared the tower.
And New Shepard has cleared the tower on her way to space with our first human crew. Go, Jeff. Go. Doesn't it, Gary?
It is totally different.
At that view. For joining us live for our first human flight on New Shepard. So far, a nominal flight. Our boot to space.
Before the active.
And touchdown. Welcome back, New Shepard's first human crew. What?
Congratulations to all of you.
What a day, what a day.
Is it everything you thought it would be?
Call it prime delivery, the culmination of a lifelong dream for Jeff Bezos, who reached space with his brother Mark, Dutch teenager Oliver Damon, and 82-year-old veteran pilot Wally Funk.
So good.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
The crew thrilled by the sensation of weightlessness 66 miles above the Earth.
For Blue Origin's first human flight, Godspeed, first crew of New Shepard. Let's light this candle.
Rocketing into the lower edge of space, the reusable New Shepard spacecraft pulled off a perfect landing in the West Texas desert.
Expectations were high and they were dramatically exceeded.
Bezos earning his astronaut wings 21 years after founding Blue Origin. Trailblazing pilot Wally Funk, now the oldest person ever in space, but had to wait decades when NASA refused to send her to space.
I loved it. And I loved being here with all of you and your family and the four of us. We had a great time. It was wonderful.
True.
I want to go again fast.
Amid the celebrations, Bezos is facing backlash, though, for this comment.
I want to thank every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer, because you guys paid for all of this.
Bezos sold Amazon stock to fund Blue Origin, but Amazon has been criticized for underpaying workers and fighting against unions.
This was your dream, but for all those millions of Americans who are watching this, who are saying, this is a joyride, it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
What did you experience that matters to all Americans?
We live on this beautiful planet. We need to take all heavy industry, all polluting industry, and move it into space and keep Earth as this beautiful gem of a planet that it is.
Bezos recently stepped away from his role as CEO at Amazon. He says his Climate Change Foundation and Blue Origin will now become his primary focus. But how many people can afford the hundreds of thousands of dollars it costs to take the ride?
Got to do it the same way we did it with commercial airline travel. Really almost in the barnstormer phase. That's what we're doing right now. But you know where that barnstorming phase leads? To 787s. And that's what we have to do.
Yeah, remember the barnstorming phase was in the 19-teens, 1920s. They literally were flying by biplanes. Right now, he says that they have sold $100 million worth of tickets going forward. We don't know how much these tickets are going for. We do know one person paid $28 million in that charitable auction, and presumably he or she is flying pretty soon. Guys, 2 more flights scheduled for this fall. Back to you.
Hey, Tom, you mentioned Bezos putting money into energy, fighting climate change. There was a lot of talk yesterday about the environmental impact of that launch. What do we know about that?
Yeah, I got a lot of questions also on Twitter about that. Listen, it's a liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen type of engine. So it burns pretty clean. Essentially what you saw coming out of the engine as it rocketed to space, that was really just water vapor. It's a pretty clean engine. Listen, if you have a lot of these types of engines actually out there and taking people to space, the question would be, what's the cumulative effect? But this particular flight and these engines are really pretty clean.
All right, Tom Costello for us once